Have you ever been told that kindness is a virtue and that being kind will bring you happiness, success, and fulfillment? Well, I'm here to tell you that kindness can actually ruin your life. Yes, you heard me right. Kindness can be your downfall. Let me explain how. First, when you're too kind, people may start to take advantage of you. They often see your kindness as a weakness and exploit it for their own gain. They'll ask for favors, borrow money, and expect you to drop everything to help them. Because you're kind, you say yes, even when it's inconvenient or detrimental to your well-being. You end up stretched thin, exhausted, and resentful, all because you couldn't say no. I've seen it happen time and again. People who are too kind often feel taken for granted. They are always there for others, but when they need help themselves, no one is around. They give and give until they have nothing left, only to find themselves alone and empty. But it's not just about being taken advantage of. When you're too kind, you also miss opportunities to stand up for yourself and assert your needs. You're so busy putting others first that you forget about your own dreams and goals. You sacrifice your happiness for the sake of others, and in the end, you're left with nothing but regrets. Second, kindness can make you a pushover. When you always prioritize others' needs, you send a message that your own needs don't matter. People will start to expect you to agree with them, to go along with their plans, and to never rock the boat. You'll be seen as someone who can be easily manipulated and controlled. When you try to assert yourself, people will be shocked and offended, accusing you of being selfish or unkind. They'll guilt-trip you into submission, and you'll find yourself right back where you started, allowing others to walk all over you. I know it's hard to break out of this pattern. It feels good to be liked and appreciated, and it's tempting to keep doing what others expect of you. But in the long run, it's not sustainable. You'll end up feeling resentful, unfulfilled, and even angry. You'll start to question why you're always the one making sacrifices and wonder what your life could be like if you put yourself first for once. Third, kindness can hold you back from success. In today's cutthroat world, nice guys often finish last. To get ahead, you need to be assertive, competitive, and sometimes even ruthless. You need to be willing to take risks, make tough decisions, and prioritize your own interests. But when you're too kind, you hesitate to do these things. You don't want to step on anyone's toes or hurt feelings, so you hold back. You play it safe and miss out on opportunities to advance your career or achieve your goals. I've seen many talented, hardworking people overlooked for promotions or big breaks simply because they were too nice. They didn't want to rock the boat or ruffle feathers, so they stayed quiet while others took the credit. But here's the thing. Success isn't handed out based on who's the nicest. It's earned through hard work, determination, and a willingness to take risks. If you're always putting others first and sacrificing your own ambitions, you'll never reach your full potential. You'll be held back by your own kindness. Fourth, and perhaps most importantly, kindness can prevent you from being honest and authentic. When you're too focused on being kind and not hurting anyone's feelings, you start to censor yourself. You hold back your true thoughts and opinions, presenting a watered-down version of yourself to the world. But people can sense when you're not being genuine. They can tell when you're holding back or sugarcoating the truth, and over time, they lose trust in you. They begin to question whether they can rely on you to be honest. Moreover, when you constantly suppress your true self in the name of kindness, you become disconnected from your own thoughts, feelings, and desires. You may start to feel like a fraud, living someone else's life instead of your own. That's no way to live. It's exhausting, unfulfilling, and ultimately unsustainable. You can't be truly happy or successful if you're not being true to yourself. You can't build deep, meaningful relationships if you're not honest and authentic. So what's the solution? How can you avoid the pitfalls of kindness while still being a good person? The answer is simple: balance. You need to find a way to be kind and compassionate while also setting boundaries and taking care of yourself. This means learning to say no when you need to, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. It means speaking up for yourself and asserting your own needs and desires, even if it means ruffling a few feathers. It means being honest and authentic, even if it leads to difficult conversations or conflict. It's not easy, I know. It takes practice and courage to break out of the pattern of overkindness. But trust me, it's worth it. When you learn to balance kindness with self-care and authenticity, you'll be amazed at how much better your life becomes. You'll have more energy and enthusiasm for the things that matter to you. You'll build deeper, more meaningful relationships with people who truly value and respect you. You'll achieve more success and fulfillment in your career and personal life. And most importantly, you'll feel more at peace with yourself and the world around you. So, don't let kindness ruin your life. Learn to be kind in a way that nurtures and supports your own well-being. Set boundaries, speak your truth, and take care of yourself first. Because at the end of the day, the greatest kindness you can show to the world is to be the best, most authentic version of yourself. Let me share a personal story with you. When I was younger, I used to be the epitome of kindness. I would go out of my way to help others, even if it meant sacrificing my own time, energy, and resources. I thought that being kind would make me happy and fulfilled, but instead, it left me feeling drained and resentful. I remember one particular instance when a friend asked me to help them move. I had my own plans for that weekend, but I didn't want to let them down, so I canceled my plans and spent the entire weekend lugging heavy boxes and furniture up and down stairs. By the end of it, I was exhausted and sore, feeling like I had wasted my precious free time. The worst part, my friend didn't even seem particularly grateful. They thanked me briefly and then went on with their life as if nothing had happened. Meanwhile, I was left feeling used and unappreciated. That experience was a wake-up call for me. I realized that I had been so focused on being kind to others that I had neglected to be kind to myself. From that moment on, I made a conscious effort to balance my kindness with self-care. I started saying no to requests that didn't align with my priorities and values. I set boundaries with people who tried to take advantage of my kindness. I became more honest and authentic in my interactions with others. At first, it was hard. I felt guilty and selfish for putting my own needs first, worrying that people would think I was unkind or uncaring. But as I continued to practice this new way of being, I saw the benefits. I had more energy and enthusiasm for the things that mattered to me. I felt more confident and self-assured in my interactions. Most importantly, I began attracting people into my life who appreciated and respected me for who I truly was. One of the biggest lessons I learned was the importance of setting boundaries. I realized that being kind didn't mean saying yes to everything. In fact, sometimes the kindest thing you can do is to say no. By setting boundaries, you communicate what you will and won't tolerate. You show that you value yourself and your own needs, and that you expect to be treated with respect and consideration. This creates space for healthier, more balanced relationships in your life. Of course, setting boundaries isn't always easy. It can be uncomfortable and even scary at times. But the more you practice it, the easier it becomes, and the payoff is well worth the effort. Another important lesson was the power of authenticity. When you focus too much on being kind and pleasing others, it's easy to lose sight of who you really are. You may mold yourself into what you think others want you to be, rather than being true to yourself. But people can sense when you're not genuine. Over time, this lack of authenticity erodes trust and connection in your relationships. Conversely, when you're honest and authentic, you create space for real, meaningful connections. You allow others to see the real you, flaws and all. This fosters deeper, more intimate relationships based on trust and mutual understanding. Being authentic doesn't mean being rude or insensitive. It's important to balance honesty with tact and compassion. But it does mean speaking your truth, even when it's difficult or uncomfortable. Ultimately, the key to avoiding the pitfalls of kindness is to find a balance between taking care of others and taking care of yourself. It's about being kind in a way that feels authentic and sustainable, rather than draining and depleting. The good news is that when you do this, everyone benefits. When you take care of yourself first, you have more energy and resources to give to others. When you set healthy boundaries, you create space for more fulfilling, reciprocal relationships. When you're honest and authentic, you inspire others to do the same.